Got a coffee?
You want a coffee?
That'd be great. I only
Okay.
had 16 this morning. Sorry, I'm kidding.
All right. Let's get a coffee. Come on. Okay. So what are we doing today? We are making a back. We're gonna make a back. These are the sound birds, and these are the backs. So what we need to do is trace out the shape, and then there's a seam here between these two boards, right? So what we need to do is we need to put a little strip of wood down here to kind of support that seam, because we're going to sand this thinner, and it's going to become quite a weak joint. It's also going to be bent, which is going to make it even weaker and prone to break.
Well, what about the kind of glue that you used?
Well, no, it's good glue. It's just going to be like a 1.5 millimeter thick joint, which is too small. So we do a little stitching across here, but the wood grain on this wood strip needs to go crossways. So we need to get a strip of koa, or it could be some other wood, but I prefer to use the same wood, and just glue a little thin strip on here on the inside, and then we're going to put bracing across the outside, and then we're going to clamp it all together and glue it, and we're actually going to glue it in inside a radius dish that will cause it to bend.
Ready.
So first thing we need to do is trace out this shape, and for that I've made this template. It's just a piece of 3mm acrylic. Just cut it out on the CNC, and it shows the lines and the cross here, the ladder bracing. This is for the back. The other bracing that goes this way is for the top. We won't draw that right now. And I marked it so I can put it right on the exact center line. And I need a pencil. So this line I'm drawing is wider than the body needs to be, because we're going to trim it to the body later. So we want more. I'm just going to chop that out on the bandsaw, and I'm going to draw the lines for the ladder bracing, just so I know where to locate it. And then this line here I don't need to draw. That's where the actual body goes, so you can see how it aligns with the body.
Why did you have it sticking out there?
Oh, that's a good question. So why did I have it sticking out there? The reason is because the body only goes up to here. I don't need this bit up here. And I want, down here, I want a strip wide enough that I can use for the stitching brace, the stitching across here. So I'm going to cut a little strip off here to use for the stitching that I talked about.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. And that this line shows me where I can cut. So I can slice,
So you have everything drawn on there that you need.
Everything's on there that I need.
Remember spirograph?
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, when I remember Dan used to have one of those.
I remember spirograph. Yeah. Okay, so I'll slice this on the machine. Gonna go across there. And you notice that this will make this double thick. We don't need this patch to be double thick, so after it's glued and dried, we're actually going to run it through the sounder and thin it down to less than 1 millimeter.
Right, because it has the support that you need.
Yep. Doesn't need much.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean this up a little bit, because the blade on the bandsaw is a little, it's a resaw blade, so it doesn't cut very fine. I've actually ordered a way finer blade, but it's not here yet.
Why don't you just go to buy one?
Because I can't just go to buy one. The blade, the exact blade I need. Actually, here's a cool thing that just happened this week. So I've been making this experimental binding for the ukulele, and I need to make really thin little slices of this stuff so it'll bend, right? So I need to cut it on the bandsaw, but my bandsaw blade is way too coarse.
Right.
So I went, really I'll just get like a really fine, like a 10 or 14 tooth per inch blade. That one's 3. And it'll do a way finer cut, and I'll get a nice thin kerf. Kerf is the thickness of the blade, how much wood it takes away.
Yeah.
Because I want to cut as many as I can, right? So I want a thin slice, a thin kerf, nice fine cut. So I went, I'll just contact Laguna, or the Laguna distributor, because that's the make of my bandsaw. I'll get a blade for that. They're on the website, but it'll take weeks to get here, and the guy isn't around, so he can't even order it till Wednesday, and blah blah blah. So I started looking for other places, and I found a company in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada called Skookum Tools, and you can pick any blade width, any TPI, any length. They'll make it up for you.
Holy.
Yeah, and it costs the same as a blade that you can go get from the store.
Oh, that's old-fashioned service, like,
it's awesome, and they do a lot more than bandsaw blades too.
Yeah,
they do abrasives and circular blades and all kinds of crap. So Skookum Tools in Winnipeg.
Okay, so question, curious, what about Lee Valley? They're usually pretty good for tools.
Lee Valley is great for tools. I get a lot of stuff from Lee Valley. And they do have bandsaw blades, but they don't custom make the exact blades that you want. They have a listed amount. And they're also a little bit more expensive.
Right.
Lee Valley tools tend to be a little bit more expensive, usually because they're really high quality tools.
Yeah.
Like, their advertising says, well, when you buy a tool from Lee Valley, you never have to buy it again. And that I've found that generally to be true, that their tools are really, really, I love Lee Valley. As a matter of fact, yesterday I just went out and got their really thick catalog.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just bedtime reading for me.
Yeah. And so, another candy store.
I love Lee Valley tools. We should go there sometime and
why don't
walk around and
let's do that.
Show people who don't, potential woodworkers, especially woodworker wannabes, show them Lee Valley tools. There's a bunch of them across Canada. They're, man, you could go broke in that place easy.
Yeah. Like me in Long McQuaid.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like a musician in a Long McQuaid. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark this.
Okay.
There we go. And this doesn't need to be this long. Slice that off right there. With my coping mechanism. My coping mechanism.
Yes.
That's what this is called forever now.
Awesome.
All right, so now we need some glues.
Geez, I know where everything is now.
Glue and a glue brush. These glue brushes are from Lee Valley. This is really way longer than I need it, so I routinely take my scissors from Lee Valley. By the way, Lee Valley doesn't pay us anything.
That's okay.
And I just cut it. And I usually go at an angle because then I find I can get into corners easily.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of those brushes and you just use them up and get new ones as you need them.
I do, because it's water-based glue, I do wash them down, like I rinse them in water when I'm done with them so they last a few times. Because, I mean, I could just throw one away every time, but I think that's a little bit wasteful. Because all it takes is a couple of sprays of water and you can use it like 4 times.
When I'm painting, I have a glass of water that I put my brushes in, but at the end of my session, of course, I rinse them out. So
Yeah.
not jumping up to rinse them out in the sink every time.
No. I every once in a while I'll just forget to clean my brush. Like this morning I came in and there was one line here dried up with glue and I was like, oh dang it, and just threw it away. It's fine because they're cheap, but I guess I grew up with a dad who saves
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
So remember
Well,
that guy?
he taught all of us
He
that.
did.
Frugality.
Well, he grew up in the Depression in the prairies, for God's sake. So what do you expect? In those days, you saved everything or you starved to death. But I mean,
I'm glad that we have that skill, though. Like it is a skill.
me too. But also, it's counter to consumer culture, and consumer culture is really unhealthy.
It is.
It's too much glue. Too much glue. You know, giant corporations want you to buy shit and throw it away and then buy another one. Darn it.
Of course they do.
And so, you know, they'll often make cheap crap that'll break. So that you have to buy another one, or they'll come up with the latest version and get you all excited about it. So you have to have the latest one so you can appear to be cool. And that's all crap, right?
Well, I've got an electric truck, right?
Yes.
And it's a Ford. And I'm so happy with it. I haven't had any reason to take it into. And I've owned new instruments before. I mean, not instruments, new vehicles.
That's all it takes to just use it next time. Ready to go? Okay, so now we want to clamp this down so that it stays in. I would use the Go deck, but I'm not going to because all I need is some simple pressure. So I'm just going to use some weights.
Yeah.
So I have these great iron, this anvil.
Which is going to squish all the rest of the glue out.
Well, you want squeeze out, right?
Yeah.
If you're seeing squeeze out, that's a good sign that your joint is properly saturated.
Yes.
And then later, I will scrape that squeeze out.
Yeah.
Okay. So before the next stage, we need to wait for this to dry.
Is it dry yet?
It's dry. Actually, this is the second one. I did this one earlier. That one's still drying.
Kind of like a cooking show.
It's like a cooking show. That's right. You always have a second casserole ready to come out of the oven.
You have two ovens.
You always
Closing
have
one
to.
oven and opening the other.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to roughly cut this out on the bandsaw to the larger line.
Yeah.
Right. We'll do that. These edges are going to get trimmed off, and you don't have to clean them up, but I just don't like splinters.
Yeah. I don't like getting them in my skin.
Oh, splinters are a little rough.
That's more of safety than anything.
Yeah. So. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is make our bracing. This is actually one of my favorite parts because, well, I'll show you why. We get to use this. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So, The bracing is really important, and the direction of the grain is critical because this is structural and supports the back. Without it, the back will crack and break, or the instrument just won't last very long. So the grain has to go perfectly up and down, and you can go out and you can buy very expensive vertical grain wood and slice it that way and all that stuff. Or you can just get a chunk of wood and you can split it with the axe, which will make it naturally go vertical grained. And then you don't have to, you know, get somebody else's vertical grain, very, very expensive wood and slice it up.
Because that's how they did it, probably.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm going to use Sitka spruce because spruce is strong and light and makes great bracing. So here's a couple of pieces of spruce. You can see I've already split them a bit, and you can see the rings go this way. So that's the vertical grain is in this direction, but the board was this way. So if I sliced it this way, the grain would be going across, and you wouldn't have that nice vertical strength. So when we slice it this way and make a piece of wood out of it, it's going to end up looking like this. Can you see the grain on the end grain there? You can see perfectly vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that gives the strength that we need. All right. So let's start with an axe. Try not to chop my fingers. Nice.
Expertly done.
Well, amateurly done. Expertly done by an amateur. I don't know. I'll do one more just in case we need it. That might be enough, but one more. It's pretty easy to do and really, really fun. So yes, you need an axe to make stringed instruments. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take these pieces of wood and flatten them. And the tool for that is the jointer.
Right.
So to push your wood through the jointer, you definitely want tools like this so you don't accidentally, you know, joint your fingers on these massive 6-inch extraordinarily sharp blades. And our goal is just to get one flat side. Okay, so this spins this way, and we push the wood through, and it's very slightly sticking up.
Yep, that's sharp.
This side here is just very slightly higher than this side, and that lets the blades, and the blades are the same height as this, so it allows it to just trim a little, shave a little bit off.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Now this could be a problem because my wood is lower than my guard, so I might have to manually push that guard out of the way. Okay, here we go.
Smooth.
Yep, so now we're gonna flatten this edge, I guess. Okay, so we got one really straight edge there, nice really straight flat edge there. So now we're gonna go to the bandsaw and just trim a bit off of here. Should be pretty good. nail it on the side of the house. Okay, so we just got to sand out the cut marks. Things move pretty fast around this shop.
They're chasing me around.
Get out of the way. And so these two strips have cut marks on the top and bottom from the bandsaw, but we don't have to worry about them because we're going to be shaping both the top and the bottom later. Alrighty?
Alrighty.
Come on. So I need 3 braces. 1, 2, 3 to go across the bottom, the back. And you can see how long they need to be because they're right here in this template. So I can just kind of sketch them out from the template without even needing to really measure them.
Right on.
1.
Another one.
That's what I was gonna say. Another one.
Beat you. Hey, it's my job to do that.
And another one. So 3 fit perfectly into one strip.
Yeah.
So see how easy it is to just make your own perfectly vertical grain. Well, you can't see it on that one. Let's see. Perfectly vertical grain bracing, and all you need is an axe. Well, I mean a jointer, but you don't have to use a jointer. You could use a wood plane.
I think the axe is, you know, I mean, the paradox is the axe being a big tool like that is more accurate.
The axe is just freaking fun.
Right? But it's the reason I say that is because you can rotate the piece around until you get the axe on the grain the way you want it.
Yep.
Exactly. Whereas in the machine, you wouldn't have that accuracy.
That's right. It's by eye and judgment. And also it's a freaking axe.
Right? And it's fun.
And it's fun. Just I don't know what it is that just tickles me about the idea of using an axe to make a ukulele.
Or
a guitar. Or a violin. One of these days I'm going to make a violin.
Have you seen the movie, The Red Violin?
Yeah.
I've watched it about 4 times. It's a very, very good movie. I recommend it.
2 thumbs up from Tony for Red Violin. I'm coping. Okay. So that goes there. That goes there. That goes there. You see they're going to need a little notch in the bottom, but we're forgetting one really important thing, and that is that this back is not going to be flat. It's going to be curved. So how do we do that? Well, we have these things called radius dishes. And all it is a piece of plywood with kind of a radius, like a satellite dish shape cut out of it to a certain radius. And
it's a convex dish.
Yeah, if you look at most guitars, they have a little bit of a roundness to the back of it, right? Yeah. And depending on the size of the instrument, they're different radii. The original plans I used for this ukulele it was approximately 5-foot radius. So I made this radius dish.
We've seen that before.
Yeah. Well, no, this is new. You've seen other ones.
Oh, other ones, yeah.
Other ones
we've seen the technique.
This one's made for this guy. Yeah. Actually, I think I time-lapsed it. So if I can find that, I'll stick that on this video. And then I just took some old, I had a belt sander that I don't have anymore, and I had all these belts left over. You need a pretty coarse grit because you're doing some pretty serious shaping. And I just used some spray adhesive to spray them down. You can also get a full-size sheet and stick it down, but you have to cut a little slit in it, and it's fine. It works fine. But so this is a 5 foot radius, or as you can see, a 1,320.449 millimeter radius for Will's uke.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Specific tools for certain instruments.
So the way we make this round is when we glue this on, we actually press this down into here.
Yeah.
While it's gluing. And we also take the backs of these and we sand them on these until they're this exact right radius.
Right.
So that's the next step, is to take each of these
and go like that.
And do this. Now in the past, I would just cut these on the CNC because I was making 5 guitars. I had a lot to do.
Yeah.
But since most people don't have a CNC, this is, since you have to make a radius dish to glue it together anyways, and this is like 6 pieces. It's
right.
It'll take a few minutes.
It's more better.
More better. It's also a little more personal. There are instrument makers who take a lot. See, that's almost done already.
Yeah, I can see that.
There are instrument makers who take a lot of issue. I mean, there's, you know, it's a gradient like anything, but some take a real issue with using a CNC on instruments. Just to me, it's just a tool. I firmly believe that if Stradivari had had a CNC, he would have used it for his violins.
Yeah. But imagine the skill that he had.
Oh yeah.
Without it.
He also had a production pipeline to run.
Right.
And he wanted to make violins to sell. That was his business.
Yes.
So of course he would have used that. And it doesn't mean he would have used it for all the final carving and the beautiful personal touches. But you know, you can rough cut with your CNC, and if the final beautiful hand carving is important to you, which it is to me as well, then do that.
Any skilled master would know that.
Yeah.
Like Stradivarius.
I mean, I'm not a skilled master, but
we're talking about Stradivarius.
Yeah, Stradivari was pretty good.
Stradivari.
Yeah, his Oh, my Stradivari.
Mamma mia.
There are Italians coming out again, Tony.
It always does.
I'm just going to refine the sanding on the bottom just to get a slightly tighter fit when I glue it on. Just a little bit.
Yeah, because it's rough sandpaper.
Yeah, and then once we glue these on and they're all set, then we'll carve them down, and it lightens the instrument. It also allows the sound to transfer a little bit better.
Yeah.
Resonance, a little bit more resonance. So normally what happens is, here, come and have a look at this. So this goes into the instrument, and then we cut what's called a scallop into it, something like that, on both sides.
Yep, I've seen those.
Yeah, you see those on the inside of pretty much all instruments.
And those are for?
They're just to lighten, and you want to lighten it as much as possible so there's as much resonance as possible. So the more structure. Also, these here are going to go over, they're going to sit on top of the walls here. And if they're too thick, then you have to do a really deep slot for them. So you have to cut a slot in there for these to go in. So the smaller these are, the smaller the slot, and then your binding will cover that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was just sanding these, sanded that one. After the axe away.
Unless you have another axe to grind.
I only have one axe to grind. All right, so here's the kind of the fun bit. So this over here may look like a workbench, but what it really is something called a go deck. And the way a go deck works is you stick something down that you want to clamp together. What's with the garbage truck?
Yes,
Stick something down that you want to glue together, and then you take this stick and you use its tension to press the piece down.
Yeah.
Okay, although they're usually a lot smaller than that, so this is built.
Yeah.
It goes like that, and it
Yeah.
holds it down. So it's just a clamping system.
Yeah.
It's a super old school clamping system.
Yeah.
And it's really useful, especially for unusual shapes.
For unusual
Unusual shapes.
shapes.
So we take the radius dish, we put it down, we take our
Are my
back.
glasses in the way?
Nah. We take our back and we put it down. And we stick these on, and then we take our sticks and we hold them down, and it holds it in its radius while the glue sets. You see how that works?
Yes, and makes it the curvature.
Yep. There'll be a little bit of spring back when it comes off, but it'll be in a bit of a curve.
Enough, as much as you want it to be. The exact amount.
Well, also when we put it on the body, because we're gonna take the body here, and we're also gonna sand it so that its surface is in a radius as well. So when we glue it down, that'll also support that radius.
Right. So there'll be no gaps. It'll have like full gluing strength.
Full gluing strength, because the actual surface here will be on this same radius.
Right.
Yeah, so before we actually fit these, we need to put a little slot in the bottom to fit our little patch. So I just have to remember which one goes where here. That's the waist. That's the upper bout. So yeah, so instrument parts have names, and the part that looks like a human waist is the waist, and this is called the upper and lower bout. I don't know why they're called a bout. What's a freaking bout?
Yeah, well,
It's like a boat if you're from Nova Scotia or something.
yeah, English language is a strange thing.
Yeah, good. Just making sure they're long enough, and that I didn't accidentally cut them too short, because that would be a bummer.
Then we'd have another axe to grind.
This is fairly delicate work. This is I really like this kind of work because it's kind of zen. It's you know, it doesn't take a lot of muscle, but it takes close attention and patience. And it takes a chisel.
Mamma mia.
And it also helps if you look over your glasses.
Or just take them off like I do.
No, no, no.
And then leave them in the kitchen somewhere.
No, you have to look over your glasses so you appear to be wise. It's a rule. It's a rule. It's a rule of the shop. Ask any of my students. I used to look at them over my glasses all the time. I used to drive them crazy. And amuse them sometimes. Okay, I wonder if that fits.
And then 2 more after that.
Yeah. Shit. I cut it in the wrong side. What a bonehead. Okay. It is perfect. It's absolutely perfect and fits perfectly, but I cut it in the top instead of the bottom. It's fine because I'm going to carve off the top anyways, but what a dummy. Okay. Idiot. I mean, if I can make stuff, anybody can make stuff. And part of learning to be a decent maker is knowing that mistakes are just part of the normal process. And yeah, they can be annoying, for sure. And sometimes you just got to put your tools down and step out until you can cool down and come back with a clear head.
As Andrew Wyeth would say, sometimes you just got to slam the door on it.
That's exactly right. But you have to come back and recognize that you made a mistake. You try to learn something from it. And if you can do that, if you can learn something from that mistake, ba-boom, you're a better maker. But if you can't, if you just quit and slam the door and never come back, then you're just not a better maker. So, I mean, yeah, learning to make has some challenges. It can be hard, but hard is good. Our society has tried to convince us that easy is good so that we'll buy a bunch of useless crap and be good consumers and support all the corporations. But the fact is, if you look at famous people, the reason they're famous usually is because they did things that were hard, like climb the highest mountain in the world or go to the deepest depth of the ocean, or
And made a lot of mistakes on the way.
they made lots of mistakes on the way, yeah. And had to probably work their asses off. And when you work your ass off of something and eventually become successful, that is super satisfying. There we go. That works. Okay. So this glue is going to be set under there, and there's still a little squeeze out that's wet, and that's good because it gives us an opportunity to scrape it out a little bit, make it a little bit more sightly. Just a corner scraper. The glue doesn't do anything to harm the instrument. It's just not pretty. So
Even though it's on the inside of the instrument.
it's the inside of the instrument, but it's just about
Someone might look in there.
craftsmanship. Somebody will look in there. Somebody who makes the instruments will look in there to see if you cleaned out your squeeze out. And if you haven't, they'll think something derisive about you.
Yes.
Okay. Should we go over the Go deck and do some gluage?
We should.
Actually, slept with a woman.
Monty Python.
John Cleese. Classic.
Yeah, John Cleese.
All those guys are just...
Did you know that John Cleese's name was originally Cheese?
John Cheese?
Yes, and he changed one letter to make from Cheese to Cleese.
I did not know that. Is that real?
Yes. Bryce told me that,
John Cheese.
and I believe Bryce.
I walked right past John Cleese once. He's very tall. That's also true.
Gorgeous.
Alrighty. So,
Just like a so.
just like so, with a stick.
And that's beautiful that the knots, you don't have to worry about anything because the knots just makes it click into place.
Clicks right into place. All right, and that's fully pressed right down into the radius, which is great. So I'm going to scrape out some of that crap. Squeeze out, I can do some of that now. Snap your squeeze out, ladies and gentlemen, lest you be mocked.
By a fellow instrument maker who's inspecting your work and judging you.
Or even worse, by a wannabe. Okay. More over here. Okay. Next.
And then the other one.
Another one. This is where we could turn this channel into an ASMR channel. Do you know ASMR?
Hmm?
Do you know of ASMR?
No.
You know what that is? ASMR stands for, what is it? Asynchronous sensory, no, asynchronous meridian response. That's it. And it basically what it means is goosebumps. So things that give you goosebumps. So there's all these YouTube channels where these people, like, they make little scritchy sounds and they whisper and they do stuff that causes people to have ASMR responses. And a lot of people find that super relaxing. So ASMR is a big thing. So we're just being all quiet and we're doing gentle work and making little sounds. So this could be our ASMR. Ukulele making. Shh. Look at that. It's a perfect fit. Shh. Don't be too loud. Some people use ASMR so they can go to sleep at night. Actually, I think a lot of people do.
What?
I said a lot of people use ASMR to go to sleep at night. Another one. Another one.
That's pushing the middle of it right down into that concave and gluing it that way.
I'm supposed to whisper in this part.
cool.
Okay, there it is. So this gets to sit here for a few hours while it sets. And then we'll take it out, and in our next video we're gonna carve the braces, and we're gonna start working on the soundboard. So in the soundboard we have to do the same kind of patch down the middle, except in this case we're gonna carve a little channel in the soundboard and we're gonna make it flush. And it has to be of the same wood as the soundboard because we want it to stay as resonant as possible. We don't want to stiffen it up with a harder wood. Thanks for watching. I hope you haven't fallen asleep yet.
I almost did because you were whispering.
Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the little bell that alerts you whenever we put out new videos if you want to see the next step. And also, if you know of any other Canadian makers who'd like to watch us build our weird shit or hear about the cool shops and tools and stuff that we find while we're going through this journey, please share the video. See you next time.
Bye.